Arch Manning said he was surprised Parker Livingstone entered the transfer portal and came out at Oklahoma. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what Arch Manning has actually been doing this spring and why there's a mood that Texas can actually do what we thought they were capable of doing in 2025 and 2026. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button, like this video, answer a question in the comments below. Would you have transferred to Oklahoma if you were a starting wide receiver at Texas? Because, well, Parker Livingstone did. This is coming at a day that is basically dominated news, college football news at least, by Arch Manning. First with the one-on-one on 3, which is good. You should go read it. Did a segment on that earlier today. And the news that, yeah, he's recovering from foot surgery. Things that we knew were going to happen. But also, this has been silver lining, if you will, around cloud. Cloud coverage means that it might rain, and the silver lining around it kind of shimmers. That's about it, dog. Means there's a sun behind it somewhere, but still the cloud's in the way. Means that you would rather that it be blue skies and sunny outside than see the cloud in the sky. And the cloud in the sky is Arch Manning taking mental reps, right? For me, I don't give a damn that Arch Manning plays or doesn't play spring ball. I don't think Texas fans do either. I think Texas fans would like to see that dude wrapped up in bubble wrap and stowed away somewhere where not even a single gnat can get to him. And this has been great for KJ Lacey and Dia Bell, who get valuable practices while Arch plays 7-on-7. Great. Awesome. Because if something happens to Arch Manning, we're going to be looking at KJ Lacey real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Dia Bell, also Elite 11 MVP. He can spin it. Rajah's kid can spin it. So we're really looking forward to what those guys can do. But adding Cam Coleman to the mix is also kind of going to ratchet up the temperature on Texas once again, who instead of recruiting through, high school, like everybody says they're going to do, they went to the portal after they found out they didn't really have it like they needed to have it at running back and wide receiver. They have added Raleek Brown, Arizona State, Hollywood Smothers from NC State, Cam Coleman from Auburn to go with Ryan Wingo. That's 2 dudes at X and Z, well, X and Y, that can absolutely take top off the defense whenever they want to. And I would expect not 1 but 2,000-yard receivers if it goes the way I think it's going to go, and at least 1,000-yard rusher. Up until like last year, Steve Sarkisian basically put out a 1,000-yard rusher like it was part of his baseline contract fulfillment obligations. Like, he really enjoys having a 1,000-yard rusher, and it makes his offense go. It's one that's made of RPOs, window dressing, and misdirection. That's how that offense works. He wants to make the defense see something, and then ta-da! Here's the actual play that's happening before them. Left, right, side to side, up and down. That's what he wants to do. And if you can run the RPO scheme like he wants to, he can take apart any defense you want to put in front of him, running and throwing. And if you run cover 2 against him, you're probably running his favorite defense because he loves to talk about how to defend offenses playing cover 2, because apparently that's just, I think it was Monty Kiffin that was all over him about how to diagnose and play against this particular style of defense. Now, cover 2 can be a philosophy, can also just be a play in your playbook. Today, it's more like a play in your playbook, but suffice it to say, we play cover 2. We're playing man under most of the time. Sometimes you're playing with a zone linebacker. We used to call that Tampa 2, Monty Kiffin, where you'd have a freak at middle linebacker that was also a safety, and Brian Urlacher that could cover so much ground that you could have him play in the center of the defense like a robber safety, call him a middle linebacker, while your 2 safeties got to play deep and your corners got to play tight and your linebackers got to play hook curl and or switch down. By the way, now I'm just into jargon. If you haven't seen the Always College Football bit of Pete Golding just 100% talking ball straight at your face, it's on my Twitter timeline, and I love ball. But as he's talking, I'm following this, and I had one of the homies looking over my shoulder. He just says, RJ, what the hell is he talking about? And I'm going, this is what I love. This is what I love right here. You know what I'm saying? He is 100% just talking ball. And I thought that I was too bad about it. I thought hardcore ball talk was something I should be getting away from. Pete Golding's only there all the time. Defensive coaches, man, I love them so much. They only want to do X and O's. They only want to whiteboard stuff up. They don't really want to talk to donors, and they don't know how to do couth. Like, leave it to Pete Golding to take notes on a criminal friggin' conspiracy, like them dudes at the meeting where Stringer Bell has to snatch up this notes because my man want to see that the boardroom takes into account the Robert rules. Is you taking notes on a criminal conspiracy? Give me that. Because that's what Pete Golding wrote down to Luke Ferrelli. I know you signed. What's the buyout? Leaving Dabo Swinney, nothing to do but just raise hell and blow his lid. Not even a talking in code kind of deal, dog. Like he's not here to dress this up. He's not here to make this seem like something that everybody can do. He's here to be a ball coach. God love you, Pete Golding. I miss the old school Southern ball coach, man. I do. And now you get him and you get Will Muschamp. Now, to the Parker Livingstone bit, I've been mostly quiet on this show about Parker Livingstone transferring to Oklahoma because it don't really move the needle for me like it does for y'all. Sometimes I do these segments that I know y'all will enjoy, and sometimes I just can't bring myself to do it because I don't believe it. And the thing is, 29 catches, 516 yards is great. 17.6 yards per catch, 6 TDs. Awesome. That's great third wide receiver energy, right? Not bad for a dude that showed up without a scholarship. But Texas be doing that with that kind of dude without melanin in his skin. You know what I'm saying? Every time they got one of them dudes that shows up without melanin in his skin playing wide receiver, they think that that's Jordan Shipley. It turns out there's only one of those. Man, Jordan Shipley was a holy terror. This man that would go hunting and fishing on the weekends would come back and absolutely wreck, destroy secondaries, particularly Oklahoma's secondary. My God, there's always like a dude or three or dudes that if you say them to you, you're going to just all of a sudden get hives, like you feel like you're going to break out in shingles. For me, Jordan Shipley is one of them dudes. Darren Sproles is one of them dudes. Tavon Austin might be number one on that list. They moved that man. Dana Holgerson moved that man from slot receiver to 7.5 yards deep on a whim. On a whim during the game against Oklahoma, and he went to work. That was the day that I decided Mike Stoops no longer needed to be calling defense at Oklahoma, and they kept letting him do it for the next 6 years, dog. So, Arch Manning finds out that Parker Livingstone enters transfer, so I was a little bit surprised and said, can't say it's something I would have done. That man grew up wanting to be at Texas, wearing Colt McCoy's jersey, talking about I want to go to Texas. Growing up in New Orleans, where your daddy went to Ole Miss, your uncle went to Ole Miss, your other uncle went to Tennessee, and your granddaddy went to Ole Miss. You grew up saying you want to go to Texas. I want to know where they went wrong. Somebody explain to me how you grew up in New Orleans with family that keep going out of state. And one day I'm going to do a segment because it actually is something I want to talk about and it does bug me. How in the blue hell does the wealthy, we care about football more than any other sport in Louisiana history, whiff on the entire Manning family? How does LSU football not land a single Manning? Not one? All four of them can play. All four of them could play. And the fifth one to come, y'all can't get. As you can see, this is not a Parker Livingstone segment anymore, which probably means I need to wrap it up. So I'm going to try to do that by saying quite simply, if Parker Livingstone turns out to be a great player at Oklahoma, I will make all these segments about him. But for now, the most newsworthy thing that has happened to Parker Livingstone is Arch Manning said he wouldn't have joined him at Oklahoma after playing at Texas. Ta-da! If the dude don't go for 1,000 yards receiving and 60 TDs with 60 receptions, 15 TDs, then what? I'm not here for another Gavin Freeman. I'm not here for another Drake Stoops. I want another CeeDee Lamb. I want another Hollywood Brown. Miss me with the all right, okay, non-melanin or melanin football player playing wide receiver at Oklahoma. I would really like to see another 1,000-yard receiver out there. Is that too much to ask? Apparently.